Who's ready for an adventure? Good morning. Not talking to you, Roy. Had not a great sleep last night. Mosquitoes are worse today and last night than they have been in a little while. They're not as bad as they were a few weeks ago, but they're persistent. So managed to get one sleep cycle in, 2.5 hours of sleep. Reminds me of when I was in rhythm a few weeks ago. I'd get that much every night. Get up, have a breakfast of cattail shoots, rhizomes, and this morning was leftover fish as well. And then out on the water for some fishing. And the benefit of having that leftover pike in me, it should carry me further than just shoots and rhizomes, and that will allow me to do more fishing without putting myself in a situation like I was yesterday, feeling very exhausted. So, shaping up to be a good morning so far. I'm going to get out on the water. I'm thinking doing a fairly extensive fishing trip. I've got one bass tethered, ready for lunch or preferably dinner if I can catch lunch today. And it'd be really nice if I can get a good haul of fish, get myself a little bit of food security. So, without further ado, let's get out on the water. fishing a new spot today. It's at the south end of the lake. I haven't had a whole lot of luck at all today. I had one bite here. I traveled a fair distance to get here. If I don't bring home something, this will have been a big net loss. It's been a while since I got skunked in the morning as well. So we'll see. And now I'm going to turn around and head back. Still no fish so far today, and I've come a good ways, so hopefully I can get something on the way back. There's a south wind, so it'll make the going easier for me. I'm starting to get a bit hungry, and I've come across a patch of cow lilies. So I just picked a seed pod, I've stripped some of the seeds out, and I'm going to see if they're edible raw. Let's give it a try. Seem to be. Yeah, nothing crazy about that. Don't have the best taste, but they're not horrible. So I'm going to leave it at that for now, see if I have any ill effects. But I would say they're probably okay to eat raw. Maybe not the best, but edible anyways, it seems. Roy is getting to be a little whiner. He's had enough of being on the water. So there's a trail right around there. I discovered it a few weeks ago when I first came down this far. I haven't really walked it, so that'll be this morning's project, do a little exploring. Just looking for a few nibbles. I see some daisies here. No sense letting those go to waste. Don't mind if I do. Dandelions are also edible. They might be a little bitter this time of year, but down the hatch nonetheless. There's a little bit of wood sorrel here. Again, you shouldn't eat too much of that, but it's a nice little nibble to have on the walk. I'm noticing some tree species here that I haven't been seeing where I am. I've got some ash and some maple and elm. That's interesting to note. Just a few kilometers further south, but it makes a difference. I could see this being a productive area for grouse in the fall. Got some mushrooms here. But I want to say I found those already on my regular trail and couldn't find them in the book, so I'm just going to leave those where they are. See some more edible food here. A little bit of Indian pipe, which, as we found out yesterday, tastes like a bean sprout. Oh, that has a strong taste to it. But there's more. I'm gonna eat it because I'm getting a bit peckish. Finding a nice bit of Indian pipe here, so I think I'm actually gonna grab some of that and bring it back home with me, cook it up, and have it for dinner. Well, he's got a scent. He's not always right, but I've learned to trust him on this. Ah, I see what he smells. A little smaller than I was hoping for, Roy. We're hoping for bigger birds. Oh, there's a bird in there. Roy, leave it alone. Good find, though. Something I was hoping to find. A little bit of tinder polypore. Got a couple here already, so I'm going to bring these back. Another mushroom here, but again, this looks like one that I've tried to identify before, a bolete species, and been unsuccessful with. So again, I'm going to leave that where it is. It's an odd looking little fungus. Looks like a furry moth. It's a nice forest. I like this area. If it weren't so far from my camp, I would come here again. Found a clearing here. This must be a marsh in the spring, I would guess. Got ostrich ferns here. I believe those are ostrich ferns. That means fiddleheads. I'm going to trek down in and see if I can find any moose tracks in here. And that didn't take long. Literally 3 seconds after saying that, we have moose tracks. A few sets of moose tracks. That's a big one. Interesting. Now here's an interesting mushroom. There's a robust stalk on that one. Taking a fairly good look at the bolete section of the book, and I don't recognize this. So I don't know whether it's worth bringing back or not. We'll see. I'll carry it with me for now. I just cut this mushroom in half, and it quickly stained a bright blue. And I recognize that from the book. That is a blue staining bolete, so I am going to bring that back after all. That is what I was hoping to see. I am most definitely coming back here in the fall. Roy, come here. Come here right now. Heel. Heel. Where's the grouse, Roy? Go find the grouse. Roy, come! Come here. Good boy. Not such a good job of flushing. Like I said, I'm not really much of a dog trainer, so I don't know the proper way to teach that. Sit! Good boy. But I'm pretty sure that's not it. Found another mushroom here. Again, it's a bolete. Looks a bit different from the ones that I've been gathering lately. So I'm going to bring that back as well. Take a look and see if I can figure out what it is. I'm on my way back now. Quite happy with what we've accomplished on this walk. Things that we've seen and gathered. But the morning is wearing on and I still haven't caught any fish. I would like to continue to put in some effort before lunch. See if I can get some protein to go with the Indian pipe and the mushrooms that I've gathered. Speaking of Indian pipe, may as well gather a little bit more while I'm here. Oh, don't have the strength in my legs that I used to. You can feel that just walking around, feel wobbly. I used to wrestle in university, and my favorite time was between weigh-in and competition, because I could eat whatever I wanted to try and put on weight. Oh boy, I am going to enjoy the days and weeks following this trip. I'm going to be smart about it, but I'm also going to be a glutton. And it is going to be delicious. I'm interested to know how much weight I've actually dropped. Quite significant. I have like no body fat on me. Definitely lost quite a bit of muscle. So I'm going to be starting a workout regimen. I'm going to be getting the calories into me. And I'm going to enjoy the entire process. I see it as starting over again. I am a tabula rasa, a blank slate of fitness and health. I get to rebuild myself again from the ground up, however I want to. And it will be quite a bit of work, I'm sure. But after this experience, anything will seem easy, I'm sure. Because this has been the most mentally and physically strenuous thing that I've ever done. And like I said, when I'm done here, anything else will seem easy. And that's part of the reason why I'm out here. And it never hurts to make yourself stronger. An investment in yourself is always a worthwhile investment. An easy life does not make a strong person. You can coast through life without ever having to challenge yourself. And that's easy, and that's fine, so long as life stays stable and easy. But if things change for reasons beyond your control, then you're in trouble. And now those who have endured hardship, those who have gone through hard times, they will have become stronger, and they will have grown from those experiences. They'll be more adaptable, more resilient, more resourceful, tougher. And because of that, they will be able to thrive, while those who simply sat back and took advantage of all the comforts will not thrive. And I don't know that this scenario will ever come up, but I don't like to bet on the best case scenario. I'm not going to place all of my eggs in one basket, especially if that basket is the best case scenario, as I was saying. So you gotta push yourself sometimes, gotta struggle, and in the end, it makes you better, makes you stronger. I've taken the opportunity to gather a good supply of mint. It's makes an excellent tea, and it's a bit of a hot commodity. I'm also taking the opportunity to get some raspberry. After trying the triple berry tea the other day, I've decided that that's something that I want to bring back with me, so I can have that on a regular basis. I have plenty of strawberry. Blueberry is easy to come by on my island, but raspberry is less so. So I'm going to take this opportunity and gather a good bit of raspberry to bring back with me to make some triple berry tea. Well, I've gathered plants for food, plants for tea, mushrooms for food, mushrooms for tinder. I'm back to trying to gather the one thing that I set out to gather, and that is fish, which I have none of thus far. Oh, I was also able to gather information, which is always important. Good fish is important too. So let's see what I can do here. If I can get some fish, it'll have been a great morning. If I can't, then it'll still be good, I think. I didn't get skunked. Hey, great success. Now I can go home feeling happy about this trip. A little bit of protein for lunch. Today is shaping up to be an excellent day. I'm just finishing up lunch now, and I'm very happy with what I accomplished this morning. I didn't catch a whole lot of fish. I caught one, which I just had for lunch. I did, however, gather a number of edible plants, tea plants, tinder fungus, and a couple of mushrooms, one of which I'm pretty sure is blue staining bolete. I'm going to have to confirm that. And then the other one is another bolete, which I'm going to look up in the afternoon. I was, as much as I accomplished, and I was happy with it, I was out on the water for a long time, and it was hot, and it took a lot out of me. So when I got back to camp, I did what I call putting my ducks in a row. I took a look at all the things that needed to be done, I prioritized them, and I took care of them in that order as efficiently as possible. So I needed to clean the fish, cook the fish, get a fire going to cook the fish, hang some things up to dry. I needed water. I was all out of drinking water. So just a bunch of stuff like that. So what I did was I decided that I needed to get some food in me and get some drinking water in me. So I cleaned the pike. When I went down to get drinking water, I filled 2 pots and brought it up. I also brought down the emptier of the 2 food barrels that I had and put the plants and mushrooms that I had gathered in that to bring that up. I was just trying to be efficient. It takes energy out of me going down to the water and back. I have to climb the rocks there, so I figured I might as well be efficient, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So came back up, got a fire going, cooked the pike, pumped the water, blah 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 blah. Basically took care of things in the order that I felt they was most urgent and most efficient. Once I finish my lunch, I'm going to lay down with my mushrooms book, see if I can confirm the identity of those 2 mushrooms, and then have a nap. I could use more food. I have 1 bass for dinner tonight, and I'm going to need to catch more, otherwise I'll be going into tomorrow without fish saved up, which I haven't done in quite a while. And I also could use some freshwater mussels. My supply of those is out, and if I don't catch fish, then I will be eating those. However, I've decided that sleep is a more important priority right now, so I'm going to go down for a nap once I finish these. It's all about prioritizing and being efficient, just time management, energy management. It all comes down to energy, really. You got to get the energy in you with food and water and rest, and minimize the energy output. So, making it work. I just woke up from about an hour and a half of napping, and I'm glad that I woke up when I did, because we have a thunderstorm rumbling on through. Now that might just miss us to the north, or it might hit us. It looks like it's going to miss, but there could be more of it hiding beyond the horizon, so I'm going to go ahead and pack things in, and if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. Well, it's a good thing I woke up when I did, because it looks like we are going to get at least some of the storm. The rain and wind are coming intermittently. The sun was still out until a few minutes ago. We were getting a thunderstorm, but thunder's rumbling through, and I'm just looking to the west. It's looking a little nasty. The wind's now coming from the north, so if we get a storm, rolls through, it'll break the humidity, and if the north wind holds up, then that'll drop the temperatures and give a nice break from the bugs. I can feel the temperature dropping right now, actually. So I think this storm is going to hit pretty soon, and yeah, I'm in the right spot for it. It's a really convenient time to wake up, actually. And now if I can go back to sleep, that works too. has stopped. I'm not certain that we're done for the night. I need to get some food in me. So Roy and I are heading to shore and to clean the bass. My last fish. Come back here, cook it up with those Indian pipe. And have myself some dinner. I'm trolling, even though I'm a little pressed for time, because I don't really want to go into tomorrow with no fish banked up. Might have to though. I've got a pike. No, I had a pike, damn it. That would have been really, really nice to have. Shit. Alright. Strike. Yay! Food for tomorrow. Well, I reneged. I just dropped my stringer in the water with the fish on. So I do not have fish for tomorrow. That was a stupid mistake. I lost my stringer and my fish. I'm not happy right now. Moving forwards, positive mentality. I have other stringers, there are other fish out there. Now I just need to catch some. There's no sense dwelling on negatives, things that cannot be changed. Learn from it and move forwards. Next time I will tie it to the side of the boat before I put the fish in the water. Bass on here, and I'm gonna go for the Tilly catcher's mitt again if I can get this fighter close enough, because I'm not interested in losing it in the slightest. It is a real fighter. Wow, in circles in the weeds, just burning rubber. Come on over here, buddy. Come on over here. There we go. Now the boat's nice and sloppy for Roy and I to sit in. But you know what? That's a fish, and that's the only thing I care about. And I'm going to tie the stringer on damn tight before I put it in the water. Sorry, Roy. It had to be done. I'm not taking any chances with this guy. Oh, that feels good. It's a nice fish too. Alright, stringer tied to the seat, attached to the fish. Fish goes in the water. To be eaten tomorrow. Today's dinner is going to be a nice change from the norm. I've got bass and cattail flowers, which is nothing unusual. I've also got the steamed Indian pipe, which I tried for the first time yesterday. And I'm going to go ahead and confirm this as blue staining bolete. I've never tried it before. I'm not really sure the best way to go about it, but I'm going to give it the same treatment that I gave the orange bolete, which is I left it out in the sun to dry for a few hours before that thunderstorm rolled in. Now, once the coals die down a little bit, I'm going to put it over the fire, let it roast, and see how it tastes. The orange bolete was very good, so I'm excited to see how the blue staining bolete tastes. Haven't had a chance to identify the other mushroom that I gathered yet today. I'm ready to give that blue staining bolete mushroom a try. Here's a little piece, so let's see how it is. Pretty good. Yeah, it's good. Not quite as good as the orange bolete, but it's a nice change. Haven't had mushroom in quite a while. And if I find it again, I'll be picking it as much as I can find. Gets the thumbs up.